Following up tonight on the city's last-minute decision last night to move up the start of the fireworks display by about an hour. Of course, it was done to try to get the show in and over with before any rough weather could move in, but not everyone agreed with the way it was handled.
Yeah, some last-minute arrivals say the city should have given them more notice. Our Brian Burns reports from downtown tonight.
Some said it was just an inconvenience. Others said they were put out by the delay. The complaints began as soon as the city made the announcement the fireworks display would be moved up to 8:30 from 9:30 because of approaching storms. The city made the decision just 9 minutes before the scheduled change. Well, the first couple of comments were positive, Sal saying they were glad they were in position early and Jess complimenting the show in general. It didn't take long for the complaints to begin. Amanda said they were driving in from Port Lavaca and only saw the last 5 minutes while driving across the bridge. Lillian complained she was very disappointed with the short notice. Nakoa said it was a huge disappointment for his son's birthday. Vanessa complained about the late notice from the city and said many families were upset. Ruth Ann and Jesse thought the city should have announced the change earlier, and Jay said a lot of people missed the display. A spokesperson for the city of Corpus Christi's Mayor's 4th of July Big Bang celebration says most of the events went on without a hitch, but there was little they could do about the timing of last night's change.
It was more than just the fireworks, being able to see the fireworks. We were also concerned with getting people out of there before the bad weather started.
Since there was a delay in last year's fireworks display, we asked what the committee would say to those who have been complaining.
There's always next year. We'll try again next year, and hopefully we won't have weather issues.
Officials say no taxpayer dollars were used. This was all privately funded. From the seawall, Brian Burns, 3 News.
As we said, hard to please everyone
Yes,
when you've got
exactly.
fireworks and weather to balance.
Exactly.
Okay.